This video is sponsored and approved by Raid Shadow Legends. Palpatine is one of the most savage, most powerful, most destructive Force users ever. The man that toppled the Republic from the inside, the man that built an empire to ruin the galaxy for decades, and you can usually find him in a variety of chairs, you know, just like chilling and occasionally he does get out of those chairs. Yeah! But more often than not in the Skywalker saga, our boy Palpy is more of a Machiavellian schemer in the shadows than a duelist. In short, it's very rare we ever get to see Darth Sidious unleash his full potential in combat. Even on those rare occasions where we see him engage against those filthy Jedi, it's either been stitched together with body doubles and CGI, because of course the great Ian McDiarmid is an older fellow, or he just kind of fires lightning until two lightsabers block the lightning? Yeah, okay. That'll work, I guess. But one of the joys of Clone Wars was that it did not hold back in giving us Palpatine as a full-tilt lightsaber-wielding diva. You want a character with dual-wielding lightsabers? This is how you do it, Disney. As an incredible showcase of the man behind the Empire, and a satisfying chapter in the story of Maul and his brother Savage Opress, this duel is one of the finest in the franchise's history, and today we're going to be breaking it down. How exactly was Sidious's true power unleashed? But before I inflict my opinions on you, let me tell you about a little thing known as Raid Shadow Legends real quick. It's one of the most popular RPG games set in a dark fantasy world that's comparable to a console or PC experience. They just launched cross-platform capabilities, so now you can play on your phone, tablet, or even a desktop computer. Once you've downloaded the game, you'll pick one of 4 different champions to start building your dream team. And as you progress through the campaign, you'll collect new and unique champions and gear, so you can customise your team the way you like to play. And as you can see, the graphics in this game, they're amazing. Once your team is stronger, you can fight with teammates against the clan boss for awesome rewards. Or, if you think your team is super strong, you can enter the arena and PvP battle against other players. So what are you waiting for? Download Raid Shadow Legends today by clicking on my link below. Not only will you be supporting our channel, but you'll also receive 100,000 silver, which helps you upgrade your team, and a free epic champion named Slasher, who is super strong, so make sure you collect the reward in your inbox found within the first 30 days before it expires. The game is completely free and fun to play, so why not try it out today? Bringing back Darth Maul was always going to be an interesting concept that could have worked really well or really badly, but Dave Filoni and the team ended up giving him some of the best material on the show, expanding his origins and throwing more conflict at him to make Maul a character more fleshed out than what the Phantom Menace ever gave him credit for. Newly introduced brother to Maul, Savage Opress, terrible name, but it's cool, found him on Junk Haven, Lothor Minor, many years after his supposed demise at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maul had lost his Dathomir marbles, doing his best Colonel Kurtz impression, and in desperate need of less spidery legs. As the series went on, Maul regained his brains and brawn, working alongside his brother and the Shadow Collective to take Mandalore. He got his first taste of revenge against Kenobi by killing his lover, Satine, and even killed Pre Vizsla in a trial by combat to become the new ruler of Mandalore.
Only the strongest shall rule.
Vizsla really helped Maul get ahead. Maul had finally started to gain success and power, which of course finally put him back on the radar of one Emperor to be.
I sense a presence I haven't felt since Master.
The fact that Sidious is even coming out to do his own dirty work should tell you everything you need to know about how important he considers it is that Maul gets messed up straight away. Side note, I love how all these poor Mandalorians have absolutely no idea how much they're in for a world of hurt. It must really suck being in the Star Wars universe sometimes. You see an unassuming OAP coming towards you, and you think you've got the situation under control until they crush your windpipe with their freaking brain.
I am most impressed to see you have survived your injuries.
It's so perfect that the first thing Palpatine says is that he is impressed Maul managed to survive. The Sith are evil, backstabbing bastards, but they respect power, perseverance, raw strength. Palpatine is never afraid to admit it when he sees it.
You will not stop me. Darth Vader will become more powerful than either of us.
At the same time, he's playing with his food here. It's a good way of playing to Maul's childlike need to be approved of, his power to be validated. Palpatine is reminding Maul that he's always lived inside his head ever since he took him on as his apprentice as a little boy, and he never left. Of course, Savage, Maul and Sidious don't talk for very long before the sabers start alighting. What I think is a testament to the sheer skill of the animators on this show is just how many damn blades are flying around at the moment. There's 5 blades, and crucially, they're given all the same colour. In most lightsaber duels, contrasting colours really help to give the audience a sense of who is where in even the most frenetic combat sequences, which is another reason why I wished Anakin had a red blade here, beyond it looking cool, although I do get why they couldn't. In this fight scene, all the blades are red, and there is a hell of a lot of twirling, but the movement of camera and the clean, succinct style of movement for each character makes it not only easy to follow in spite of its speed, but a real joy to witness. There's no way you could achieve a feeling like this in live action without it looking like a mess of camera angles and probably unnatural bodily movements, tripping all the way into the uncanny valley, and there's definitely no way you could have done that with a character like Palpatine. Sidious divides to conquer. Maul gets knocked out of the focus of the duel so that Palpatine can have his fun. Seeing Maul watch as someone close to him fights desperately to survive is fitting, because this divide and conquer method was exactly what he tried to do to Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. This is all of Maul's chickens coming home to roost, man.
This is not all my chickens coming home to roost, Mark, alright? Don't stand there thinking it is.
I'm not, Jez. This is all his chickens coming home to roost. It's a roostathon.
What I said a moment ago about Palpatine playing with his food? Yeah. This is beyond flashy and theatrical, and it fits Palpatine to a T. Maybe you'll disagree, but I think the way he guts Savage here tells me that the Dathomir warrior was incomparable in terms of skill and fighting prowess. Palpatine made it look like he was taking candy from a baby. I also think the way Palpatine dominates here sways me a little more to the idea that he threw his fight with Windu in episode 3. That's obviously a much more evenly matched fight, and there's a good amount of people that think Windu did genuinely best him, but it's Sheev we're dealing with here. He's manipulating events 24/7, even in the middle of a lightsaber duel. Did he pull this move off just so that he could look into Maul's eyes as he stabbed his brother? I'd like to think so. Palpatine is 50 steps ahead of the game at all times.
Brother, I am an unworthy apprentice.
Jeez, what a depressing thing to say before you freaking die. There's no hope in Savage's death, only pain and failure. He is murdered without respect, tossed aside like nothing. His final moments see him get to be a pawn in 2 other people's stories. It's fitting that during this moment, Palpatine stands high above both of them, a spectator to the torment he has unleashed on his old apprentice. It's no coincidence that again this fight parallels Maul's only live-action lightsaber duel. He's Obi-Wan in The Phantom Menace here, throwing everything at the murderer, relishing in his victory, and the audience is treated to some seriously sweet action because of it. But in the end, Maul is of course no Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Have mercy. Please.
In the end, Maul begs for mercy, and of course Sidious cares not one iota. This is probably the most humiliating end to a lightsaber duel in Star Wars history. At least Anakin didn't beg. If there's one character that springs to mind more than perhaps anyone else in the Star Wars universe when I think about failure, it's Maul. The guy failed being a Sith. He spent years in exile having lost his mind, he fails to get his revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and here he fails to get his revenge on Palpatine. He's such an interesting character because although he's more than just a vessel for evil, there's moral complexity and vulnerability to him that we learn more about during his time on the show. He never truly learns. He never breaks the cycle of vengeance and craving that payoff. As we've covered once before, that leads to his ultimate end. In this duel, it might have been his ultimate end, but Dave Filoni and the team were smart to leave it ambiguous, just in case they might ever want to continue his story in a sequel show. But given the daddy of Star Wars baddies to play with, the Clone Wars show here makes full use of being able to depict Palpatine as a masterful duelist and wielder of the Force in a way that we've never quite seen before. Want to know what we thought of the Colin Trevorrow episode 9 script that leaked recently? Well, if you head on over to the Full Fat podcast, you can find out. Each week we discuss what's been happening in the world of pop culture before taking a deep dive into a film or TV show of our choice. Make sure to check it out on Spotify and other podcasting platforms now. The link is in the description below. The Star Wars tracks in this video were very kindly provided by Samuel Kim Music. You can check out some of his awesome tracks over at his channel, the details of which are in the description below. thank you for watching another Full Fat video. If you'd like to see more from Full Fat videos, why not follow us on Instagram and Twitter? Please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. We've got some cool exclusive content on there. Thank you to our $100 patrons, Dr. Chike and Jax Merrick. Chris and I really appreciate it. Until next time, stay milky.